Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. How are we all doing? It's time for the weekly watches, and yep, it's a Monday. Yeah, I've been busy all over the weekend, working Saturday and Sunday. So you've got me on a Monday for a change, which isn't too bad because it's a bank holiday. So it's kind of the weekend still. So it's not completely cheating. Right, before we get on with it, and by the way, I've got 8 titles to talk about this week. Before I get on with it, just a little bit of housekeeping, if you like. You may notice we're in a different location. Yep, we're in west wing of Blu-Roy Towers now because my son has officially moved out. He's moved into a house with his girlfriend and vacated his room. So this will be my movie room going forwards. Now at the moment, despite what's behind me, it might look like I've got some sort of organisation, but I haven't at the moment. Flip the camera around and you just see an empty room apart from shelves I've got to build up. So I'll probably, when I'm done, it's going to take me a while. It's going to be a project going forward. I'm a master of procrastination. I'll probably have the camera mounted on the desk here and film out that way, and you'll see the shelves behind me. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, that'll be a bit of a project. It's nothing in here apart from that, so it's really echoey. It's putting me off a little bit, but we'll persevere. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I went over 800 subs this week, which really appreciate. I sound like a broken record when I reach these milestones that I've never thought I'd get that many, and hand on heart, I didn't. So it's pretty humbling, and I appreciate each and everybody who's subbed and everybody who watches the videos and takes a little time out of their lives just to leave a comment. We're all busy, we've all got stuff to do, so yeah, I really appreciate that you can have a little chat, because that's what we're here for. That's the best thing about making these videos, is interacting with you guys and making new friends, which I do all the time. It's been a great year this year for meeting people, making friends, and yeah, it's been really fantastic. I've really loved it. And what else was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh yes, tonight I've got the camera mounted up on a step ladder and I keep booting it. That's why it keeps jolting. I can't get used to this. Yeah, tonight at 1900 hours, 7 o'clock, over on Ollie's channel, there'll be a live stream which I'll be a guest on. So anybody who can make their way over to Ollie's channel, just come say hello, maybe ask a question or two, but not too many. Yeah, nip on, and we'll have a bit of a chat, and we'll normally have a bit of a laugh. So yeah, that should be good. So anyway, let's crack on with the weekly watches. Right, I started off the week with The Getaway from 1994, directed by Roger Donaldson. And what a cast this has got. Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger, Michael Madsen, James Woods, David Morse, I like David Morse, Jennifer Tilly, and the ever excellent and dearly missed Philip Seymour Hoffman. And do you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I might prefer this to the original. There's not many films that are like that I prefer the remake, but this might just be one of them. Yeah, just great story, great crime film. It's about Baldwin's character. He's pulling up a heist and he's left by his people he's working with to get arrested and face the rap. Now, Basinger has to go to this guy and get him to use some influences to get him released from prison. But then he's in the guy's pocket and the guy organises another heist for them to do. and puts him together with the team that left him behind and left him to face jail by himself, which of course is not going to go down well. Yeah, great film, great crime film, great double dealings and stabbings in the back and all that good stuff, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Michael Madsen makes for a great villain. I always think he's a good villain, Madsen. Whatever he's in, he's got this mullet, and yeah, I just enjoy watching him. Kim Basinger, brilliant as always. James Woods, always good, and like I say, David Morse, a favourite character actor of mine. Yeah, really enjoyed that one, Getaway. Right, next up was The Children Act from 2017, directed by Richard Eyre, which I don't think I've only seen one of his films before. I think Notes on a Scandal is the only thing I've seen prior to this. I'm not sure about the lighting in here. Something I might have to look at, a ring light, I think. Starring Emma Thompson, Stanley Tucci, Fionn Whitehead. Now, this was a bit dull, I'm afraid. Great concept. Thompson's character, she's this judge who settles debates in the medical practice. For instance, like the first case she was doing at the start was two conjoined twin babies where they needed separating, but one of them was going to live and one of them was going to die, and the parents didn't want them separating, but the hospital were insisted that it needed doing, so she had to decide whether to come down on the parent side and let nature take its course, or side with the hospital and basically enforce that one of them will live and one of them die by separating them. Yeah, really interesting case. And then she takes on the case of this 17-year-old boy played by Whitehead, who he's got leukemia and he needs a blood transfusion or he's basically more or less going to die. And because of his religion, his parents are saying that they don't want it to happen, and Whitehead himself is saying that he doesn't want transfusion, but because he's only 17 and a minor, the hospital are insisting that they need to go ahead and save this boy's life, and Thompson has the task of judging on that, whether to let the hospital, without the boy's consent, the parents' consent, go ahead and perform this blood transfusion that's possibly going to save his life. She's doing all this on the background of her marriage to Stanley Tucci crumbling, and it's her dealing with that and then dealing with the case and dealing with the aftermath after the case, which is a great concept, but it was a bit dull. God, it was drawn out and it was pretty boring, to be honest. Not taken away from Thompson's performance, she's brilliant in this, and she is in everything. But yeah, the film was so dull, I'm afraid. I thought it was going to go in a direction at one point a bit taboo that would make it interesting, and thought if maybe they had gone down that aisle, it would have been a lot better film, I think. But it shied away from it. Yeah, it's not what I could see myself going back to any time soon. Yeah, that's The Children Act. Right, next up, guys, from 1972, directed by Sidney Pollack, who is a director I'm getting into. I actually watched another Sidney Pollack film yesterday. That was bloody brilliant, which I'm going to save for next week, actually, seeing as I'm doing this later on than I should be, really. Yeah, Jeremiah Johnson starring Robert Redford. First time watching this Western, and what a great Western it was. It's all about Redford's character, Jeremiah Johnson. He decides to leave the town behind and go up and live in the mountains and try and self-survive in the mountains, which bloody daft idea, if you ask me. If I was a cowboy, I think I want to be in the town, in the saloon, playing poker and drinking whiskey, not going up in a mountain, feasting me arse off, trying to catch me dinner. That don't appeal to me at all. But Redford wants to live this life, and it's basically a survival film. He meets various different characters along the way. Most of them are really eccentric, because I think you'd have to be to live that sort of life. There's two tribes of Indians up there. There's the Flatheads and the Crows. Now, the Flatheads were quite an amiable tribe, but the Crows, you don't want to piss them off. And Jeremiah Johnson, he manages to do that, and it's his story of him fighting off this tribe, trying to survive by himself. Picks up a Indian wife along the way, picks up a sort of adopted son along the way, and it's about him trying to protect them. And he built himself like this log cabin on the mountain, and it's quite ridiculous how he's supposed to have done it, because it's made of the biggest logs you've ever seen in your life, all for walls, all for the roof, and there's no way him and an Indian wife and a little kid would ever get him up there, which kind of took it out for me for a little bit. Things like this sometimes I notice. Yeah, but really, really good Western, great survival film. If you like something like maybe The Revenant, something like that, maybe this would float your boat. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Great, great film. Next up, and I think maybe the pick of the week, Dry White Season from 1989, directed by Ujam Palsy. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. I'll just try and say it with confidence now, make it sound like I'm right. Starring Donald Sutherland, brilliant in this, Janet Suzman, Jürgen Prochnow, who, if it's not a name that's familiar with you, you probably know him if you see him. His face is that sort of actor, his character actor, and he plays like this corrupt police captain in here. And I think his performance in this, he was evil, he was chilling, and God, he made your hair stand on end on your arm. Susan Sarandon and the ever brilliant Marlon Brando, and yeah, what a great film this was. This was all about Sutherland. He's this ex-rugby player in South Africa, and set in the 70s, I think it was set. I might be wrong on that. But he's this ex-international South African rugby player, a well-respected guy who's moved on to teaching, and he's doing well for himself. He's got the family, he's got the kids, he's got the idyllic lifestyle, and he employs staff. He's got this black guy who's the gardener. Now, one day, this is the days of apartheid, where it was absolutely disgusting in South Africa. I don't think it's probably a hell of a lot better now. I've worked with some white South African guys, and I've heard them say things that, you know, makes you think, oh, Christ. But yeah, the gardener's son, he goes to this school, and the school kids are having a protest because they want equal opportunities in education as the white kids, which they're not getting. And it's a peaceful process, but the police and the army open fire and start shooting all these kids, and it's quite horrible to watch, then chasing them down and murdering these kids. And the gardener's son goes missing, and when the gardener tries to investigate what's happened to his son, something happens heinous to him. And I don't want to say too much, because I know a few people in our little circle have also picked up a copy of this, and I don't think they've seen it yet, so I don't want to give a lot away, because it's best to let it unfold. But this is Sutherland trying to deal with the aftermath of what happens to his gardener and the gardener's son, and going up against the authorities, trying to get justice for what has happened, and the police covering themselves up, the police threatening Sutherland with his life, causing even his family members to turn against Sutherland. It's heavy going, it's heavy hitting, but it's an absolute brilliant watch, and I urge anybody to get a copy and give it a watch. Yeah, it's a film that makes you think afterwards and just ponders life in general. Yeah, it's on sale at the moment for BFI. Instead of like £18, it's £8.50 or something like that, which is money well spent. Yeah, grab a copy because it's a really, really good film. That's A Dry White Season. Right, next up from 2022, and the second in the trot with a female director, Olivia Newman. This is starring Daisy Edgar-Jones, Taylor John Smith, Harris Dickinson, and another character actor that I really like, David Strathairn. Yeah, this is a really good film. Again, I really enjoyed this, and it's got mixed reviews, but it fell out on the right side for me, that's for sure. This is about Daisy Edgar-Jones' character. She lives out in, I think it's probably Louisiana, Southern America, somewhere like that, out in the swamps. And she's basically, as a little girl, deserted by her family. Her mother moves out, then her abusive father moves out. He's already driven away her siblings. So she's basically left to fend for herself and bring herself up. Obviously, like, this leaves her not very savvy, and she's become this figure with the local community who's sort of finger pointed at and jeered at and sniggered at because she's this strange girl growing up into a young woman. Almost look at her like some sort of half animal type creature type person. And yeah, really great film. And she gets a boyfriend, and he meets with death. He falls from this big tower thing, and of course everybody's fingers point at her that she did it, and then it basically turns into a court case of did she do it, didn't she? And I won't give it away if you haven't seen it, but there's a really good twist. I really enjoyed the twist, and the scenery in this is brilliant. The swamps and that, it's almost becomes a character in the film. Yeah, really enjoyed this. It's been sat on my shelf now for probably a couple of years. I think I picked it up cheap in CX, and that, for me, well, in my mind anyway, justifies why I buy these films and stick them on the shelf and they stay there for a while. Because I do get to them, then I discover stuff like this, and yeah, great film. Really enjoyed that one. Where the Crawdads Sing. Next on the agenda, from 1982, Steven Spielberg. Henry Thomas as the kid Elliot. Drew Barrymore, bright as button. Really cute in this as a little girl, Drew Barrymore. I don't know why Ollie hates her so much. How can you hate a cute little kid like that? Weird guy. Dee Wallace as the mum. And Steven Spielberg's, some say, masterpiece from 1982. And come on, I'm going to get some hate. I can imagine. People like Stuart are going to be steaming on the message board now. I do like the film, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's the masterpiece that everybody else puts it up as. Now, probably mitigating circumstances from me. I never saw this as a kid. Well, in 82, I was 13. And by then, our cinema had long turned into a bingo hall, and we never got a cinema until I was sort of like an early adult. And it was a few years before we got a VHS player, so until I was an adult, it had passed me by. And I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but for me, it's not the film that everybody puts up there on the pedestal. It's just a family adventure that, like I say, I watched at the wrong time of life, probably. That's about as much as I can say. Like I say, I enjoy it, but as Spielberg films go, if I was to rank them, it would probably be in the bottom third, I'm afraid. Maybe I might do that one day. I bought some more actually, and some I haven't seen for a long time, so I might watch some more, then I'll rank what I've seen. Yeah, E.T. Extra-Terrestrial. Go ahead in the comments down below. My shoulders are going to be that big. I'll deflect it. I don't care. Right, next up from the Coen brothers from 2013, Inside Llewyn Davis. Why did I say that in a Welsh accent? It's just the most Welsh name I've ever heard of. Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan, John Goodman, Garrett Edlund, Justin Timberlake, Adam Driver, he was in there for a little while. And, I don't know whether I enjoyed it or not. I'm still, like 2 or 3 days after I've watched it, I just can't decide whether I enjoyed it or not. It's pretty depressing stuff. It's about Oscar Isaac. Yeah, Oscar Isaac's good. I do like Oscar Isaac. He's a great actor. He's in this 60s folk scene in Greenwich Village, New York, and he can't get a break. He's had success in the past. He's had like minor record deals, but at the present time he can't get a break. He's struggling to get a gig. Struggling to find somewhere to live. He's basically going from place to place, from couch to couch, until he pisses somebody off, and then he has to find another couch to sit on. His best mate's girlfriend, that she hates him, but he's somehow managed to get her pregnant. I don't know if that happens as she hates him so much. So he's got to find the money to buy her an abortion because she hasn't told her boyfriend, who is his best mate, and she didn't want him to find out. He can't even look after his best mate's cat without him losing it and struggling to find it again. And he's spiralling downwards ever more into shit, basically. And yeah, it's pretty depressing. Did I enjoy it? I don't know. It's really weird. I might have to watch it again further down the line. It's maybe on a second viewing, it's going to one that I'm going to appreciate further. Don't get me wrong, it's made brilliant. I can appreciate the filmmaking. The acting is very good. It's very good. Mulligan's very good. John Goodman is very good in it. The singing, the music's brilliant. Isaac, I didn't realise he was such good musically, and of course you've got Timberlake, so he's going to be good. And Adam Driver, he did a song and he was good in it. Yeah, it was alright, I guess. Look, I'll probably watch it again and I'll let you know next time around. Right, and to round the week off, Slumber Party Massacre from 1982, and the favourite out of the films I've seen from 1982 this week, between this and Jaws, is Slumber Party Massacre. And another female directed film, Amy Holden Jones, and it stars, so I've had to write this down because I never, Michelle Michaels, Robin Still, Michael Villela, and he was the murderer in this, and he didn't say much, but he was pretty effective. Now, I'd been to work Saturday. I watched this. I'd been to work. I was up early. I had to be at work at 7:30. Then I've been out and met my mate, and I'm busy all day. So Saturday night, I was pretty tired. So I just wanted something that I didn't have to think about, and this absolutely fitted the bill for me. This guy had escaped from a high security prison. Yeah, you've heard it a million times before. This mass murderer, and he happens upon this party that these young girls are having, scantily clad young girls. So he's going around basically killing everybody with this big drill thing. And it's got some gnarly kills. It's got some good fun. It's got some good humour in it, actually. They open the door to the pizza guy, and he's just been killed by having both his eyes bored out by this drill, and he falls to the floor, and they're more worried about if the pizza's going to be cold. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's good fun. There are sequels, I believe, which I might try and have a look at now if I see them about. Apparently there's a sequel that is absolutely pants and boring, if you get that joke. Sorry, Sam, that was one of your jokes. Yeah, it was good fun. Like I say, I enjoyed it more like than the other 1982 film E.T. Go figure. Yeah, so that was it, guys. That's everything in a nutshell this week. God, it's echoing in here. I'm gonna have to get some shelves in to rectify that problem. Thanks very much for watching. Give us a big thumbs up if you like what I've done here today. Maybe think about subscribing. Join the 800 Club, guys. The 800 Club is where it's at, believe me. And I'll catch you all in the midweek. We'll think of something to do midweek. Oh, Ollie, I've got up there now. Ollie's requested that he wants to see my BFI collection. So maybe that's just what I'll do, but no promises. We'll see how it goes. Catch you all later, guys. Be good, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.